Okay, now we're ready to add some washers. So you have to add washers on the top and the bottom. Here, I'll also add a center line so that I know where to put everything. Just going to add a center line matching up over there. I'm starting here, go over here. And I'm going to start off by putting the plain washer on the top. Okay, so what I've done is I've given you a chart. So if you go to my website and handouts, and also put a link so you'll see where to go. And also add these files. Okay, so we're going to start off with the plain washers at the bottom. But if you open it up on grade 12 design and handouts on my web page, you can also do it there, and I'll do some links. So here's the plain washer. We're dealing with 1 inch. And how do I know? Well, it's on the other page. It tells you. So we're dealing with a 1 inch plain washer. Now, is it narrow or wide? It doesn't say, so I'm going to use the wide one. Okay, so I'm going to use a 1 inch wide washer. And there we go. Just gonna zoom in. I'm gonna find the 1 inch washer narrow. So here we go. It's 2.5 inch. So all we need here, it's 2.5 inch on the outside and 0.165 thick. So we got to remember that 2.5 inch on the outside. So that we go to the wide, 2.5 and 0.165 thick. So I'm gonna go draw that over here. So 1.65 thick. I know we did that sheet the other day, so last year, sorry. 0.165 thick, and it's 2.5 this way. Up the same amount. So I'm just going to match it up and back, and I've just drawn the top washer. Now, if you don't want to be exact, you can just make a rectangle here about this size. No one will actually know the difference, okay, as long as it looks proportional. Okay, and now I'm going to put it right there. So I'm just going to move that washer that I created here, okay, in the dimensions I got off that sheet. I'm going to put it here. So if you were to put a rectangle there instead of what I did and just estimated, I think you would be fine. And I think a lot of designers do that. Instead of looking at the tables, they know approximately how wide that is. Okay, now we're going to do, but I'll give you how to do the exact one. Now we're going to put the other washer on the bottom. So we have to put a lock washer on the bottom, and there's also tables for that. So it's a 1 inch lock washer. I'm going to go to the lock washer. This pops up. I'm going to find the 1 inch one. So down at the bottom here, there's the 1 inch, and we want outside diameter 1 inch, 1.661, and the thickness, so if I come down here, the thickness is 0.25. So 0.25 and 1.661. Let's hope I remember that. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle. Okay, so I forgot already, so I got to go back. 1.661 and quarter inch. 1.661. So I put a line 1.661, quarter inch down, so 0.25 down. Okay, then we'll match it up on the other side here. Hopefully we can match and bring it up. And there's our washer. Now we got to put 2 random lines the other way. So you put like one line this way on an angle, and I just copy that line. So I have 2 of them that they're exactly the same. Okay, I just copy it beside. So for some reason the lock washers, okay, the lock washers have these, represents that it locks. So this is how you can tell them apart. Maybe I'll move it a little bit. Okay, at any angle you add these lines. Okay, and now I'll move this, okay, from maybe the midpoint here to right underneath. Okay, so now we got our 2 washers on here. Next, we're going to put our nut. Now, here's what I've done, okay? I've actually in here, you can download it. There's a hardware block, and I'm going to open it up in AutoCAD, and I'll show you. So you can download this, and it has all the nuts and bolts that the first year I taught the course, we had the class create them all so that we can use them in different projects. So now I'll show you in AutoCAD that drawing. So it's over here. So I opened it up. So it looks like this. Now we need the 1 inch squared. So see, we have 1 inch, 1 1/4, 7/8, 3/4. We have them all here. So we're going to use the 1 inch. Now the lengths may not be what you need, but at least the shapes are there. So in this case, I think I asked all the students to do certain lengths. So let's see, this particular one is 4 inches long. We actually need 4 inches long, so it works out. But if you had to adjust, you can always resize it. This part stays the same. I mean, this part here stays the same, the end, and this part gets adjusted in the middle. So let's just cut and paste that into our drawing. So we're going to cut and paste both the nut and the bolt. So we'll go, I'll go Control C to copy. I'll highlight what I need, or click what I need. I hit Enter, and I go into the drawing that I'm working on over here, and I'll put this out here somewhere. I'll go Control V, and it pastes it on the side, and then I just got to explode it. So I use this explosion tool, and I explode this and this. So now I have the different parts. I need this part, so I will copy it. Okay, so I'll copy in case I need it again. So I'll create a copy of this. I'll bring it over here. I'll have to rotate it. So I'll take this and rotate it. And then I'll move it into position. And put it right there, perfectly underneath. So now we got our nut. Now I'll take the bolt. It's the right size. It's 4 inches. Okay, so I'll just copy that as well. Okay, I'll take this bolt. I'll copy it as well. I'll bring it over here. Okay, and I'll rotate it. Okay, and now I'll move everything but the center line. So I'll move it, and I'll pick this point right here, and I'll move it to the center there. Something didn't work. It didn't line up. Let's undo that. I missed it by a little bit. Let's move it again. So we'll try it one more time. Make sure we have the right point here. You can even go shift midpoint and make sure it's the middle of that line. Okay, we'll do one more time here. I'm going to make sure it goes there. It should be right down the center. And there we have that. Okay, now, before I trim, because now I'm going to trim it, I'm going to make a copy of this because I'm going to find it useful for the next drawing. So I'm going to create a copy of this entire thing. So I'm going to copy it right now. I'm going to have a second copy. I'm going to just put it over here. All right, so I have another copy. Now I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to trim. So use the trim command. And I'm going to trim from this line, and I'll trim all the way up to maybe that line. So I'll cut everything from that line to that line. So I'll trim, trim. And I'm going to have to erase some things. Trim that, and I've erased. I've trimmed all that, and then I'll go erase this. And in here, I got to erase these two little circle things. Okay. Let's see, do we have it all drawn? Yes, so it's all drawn. Now we just have to itemize it. So let's first, I always like to add the dimensions first. So I'll put the dimensions on. Okay, I'll put the 1, 2, 3, 4 dimensions on. And then from there, we'll itemize it. Okay, so I added these dimensions. While I added dimension, I realized we forgot to put the other parts here. So we need to add the washer. So over here, I'm going to draw a straight line up here. I'm going to add this washer up here. So this is that washer on the top. We'll just add it. It's on diameter. Better change that to circle radius. And we'll add the washer here. And we need to add this nut here. So let's copy that as well. So we'll copy this nut. And we'll just put the nut right there. We can put the nut there. And we still need that other circle here. Oh, let's try that again. And now we've got that top part drawn with the nut and the washer. And we also missed a dashed line here, so we'll add that as well. So we need a dashed line showing where this piece ends from here to there. Okay, now let's itemize it. So I'll show you guys how to itemize this. Okay, so where I like to use the dim layer to bring these in, I'm going to show you one more time. Insert. Okay, go to insert, and you bring this here, the balloon in. Okay, let's put the balloon here. Okay, the first one's item 1. Okay, it's the wrong size, so I'm going to use the scale. I'm going to scale it by 4 because my border's scaled by 4. So pick this and I'll scale it by 4. Now I need a bunch of them, so I'm going to use the copy command. So I'm going to copy. I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put one over here. I'm going to put one over here. Put down here too to itemize them. Now I need an arrow. I'm going to create one quick arrow here using the arrow command. So I will go to the nearest and click there. Okay, and hit escape, and I got one arrow. And if I want, I can go to the nearest here as well. I don't have to go there. I can just go to the nearest location. Okay, I like to copy that arrow myself, so I copy it. Use the copy command, and I just copy the arrow beside those leaders, and I'm just going to move them later and adjust them to where I need them. So I make a bunch of copies of that arrow. Okay, to change the number, I'll double click, and this will be 4. Okay, double click. Double click on that. Change that to 3. Double click on this one. Okay, I'll change that to 2. Oh, 2. Okay, I'll double click on this one. And this is going to be item 5. Okay, double click on this one. And this is item 6. And now I'll just go and put my arrows in the right place. So that was item 1. Item 4, I'll click. It's the washer, so it goes here. And I can just go to a quadrant, or maybe I can just go there. Okay, item 3 is this here. Go there. Click there. Item 2 is this bar here. See if I can just drag it. And go nearest, shift right nearest. And I can go nearest here too. Okay, and I've got these, and then I'll just do 5 and 6 here quickly. Okay, 5 is this washer here. I can maybe go to the quadrant on this one. And 6 is the nut on the bottom. So it's this nut here, and that's item 6. Okay, and I've itemized it.